How did this topic come up? First, after visiting MOMA, which is Museum of the Modern Art, as a natural process, me and my friend had a discussion on what was your favorite piece. Well, we picked different pieces with completely different style and contents under completely different interests and taste. I picked video arts and documentary arts containing political issues. And my friend picked the Impressionism painting called Water Lilies by Monet. This topic has been ongoing over centuries and many people already made comments about it. And I'm putting my fork or spoon on the table, already full of sumptuous meal. Tracking the history of the topic starts from long time ago. Ancient Egyptian. They depicted political leaders. Renaissance. The glorification of the political rulers and power and authority of Catholic churches were depicted. 19th century. It was more about political criticizing the injustice of the rulers. Honoré Demir, the satirist and political cartoonist, can be the example of it. 20th century. It was about conveying ideologies using propaganda, such as anti-war or realism used by Manet, depicting everyday subjects that has never been covered in art industry. 21st century. And now we're living in 21st century. Artists use political art to communicate, to talk about the political issues such as human rights and inequality, and to talk about historical events that has not ended and we should not forget. And the time has come. The time has come for us to consider and discuss the use of political art. We need to bridge the gap between the two sides that pursue political art. Sides of both political art and non-political art. Interrelation between society and art is inseparable. According to Tate Museum, performance has always been interconnected with society, and artists have used comments on everyday life with political engagement, creating actions and performances that respond to and are fueled by many of the activist movements. For example, Bob Dylan, who played the role of figurehead, wrote iconic protest songs during the 1960s, the use of subjects covering injustice and social issues. And being the voice of the generation proves the impact of political art. Marcel Duchamp, as an artist with the style of Dada, focuses on challenging the notion of the definition of art, and in the process of it, he reflects the society and covers social issue-related topics. He challenges the common idea by using everyday objects removed from the context and giving them new meanings. For example, there is a sculpture called Fountain. He writes his fake name on the ready-made urinal and submits the piece to an exhibition. By doing so, he not only criticizes how the art gallery holds the exhibition, but also the mass production of art. As the world got more industrialized, fewer people tended to care about the quality and the value of art. It is not just about the definition of art, it is reflecting the era. Nietzsche, one of the most influential modern philosophers, emphasizes the healing capacity of non-political arts. In The Birth of Tragedy, he claims that two oxymorons such as Apollonian and Dionysian coexist. The uncontrollable energy comes out of the clash between two opposite concepts, and he says the energy makes our pain, and in order to overcome the pain, we create a world of desire. And he compares the world to the will of artists to express themselves. He defines that only through art we're able to be justified. Considering Nietzsche's theory of the original tragedy, it is notable to check what Apollonian and Dionysian are. First, the pain is something like an aesthetic drive, and Apollonian is that we overcome the tragedy by romanticizing the tragedy, and pain and forming a veil. Secondly, in Dionysian is that we expose the tragedy that Apollonian veiled before, and then we experience integrity through music. By feeling integrity, we overcome the pain. And now, the following speech by Taylor Swift exactly shows what Nietzsche is talking about, the capacity of healing in art.
We all come from different places, maybe we all have different accents, we have different hobbies, different backgrounds. But there's one thing that we have in common that I know for sure. And that thing is that when we feel a great amount of joy or a great amount of pain, we turn to music.
Integrity. Identity as an artist. Well, Zora has a certain priority. Like, to explain about her, she is a woman with a strong and big ego. She is a type of a person, for example, if someone doesn't like her, she would understand how someone could ever not like her. Like, she would say, I'm so attractive and full of charm and contents. How could you not like me? Anyway, back to the priority part. Zora has a different thought on art compared to other contemporary artists. She didn't consider her race as a political party, but as a cultural element. She didn't feel the need to be part of the writers who focused on the political situation, but instead she pursued artistic freedom and the expression of the artist herself. She even said being objective about the subject and using a third-person view that are her method of hers to be artistically free, and she believed that it would make her a better writer. The priority of her own identity as an artist and maintaining the philosophy of her art and ideologies, that's a part we should think about. The movie director Wes Anderson focuses on the art for art principle. His movies contain patterns, inspiration, and the essence of the way him as a director defines his own world. According to the film critic Lee Dong-jin, who analyzes the view of the movie director Wes Anderson by interpreting his movie The French Dispatch, he says that it is not the world that is beautiful, it is the depiction of the world. And he also says everything on the earth possesses its own beauty, it's just hidden somewhere, and finding out the beauty of it is the artist's role. This part kind of reminds me of the line from The Little Prince. What makes the desert beautiful is that somewhere it hides it well. Anyway, back to the point. Focus on the expression of art philosophy of the director. It gives the opportunity to experience a new art approaching method. In the interview with Desires Marias, Picasso defines art. He emphasizes the method of approach to art. He criticizes the obsession of modern art to find political meanings that bestow the message in the artwork. By doing so, Picasso insists that we feel it instead of studying the art, him emphasizing on the unique point of view of every individual and bringing up the concept of cubism. He says that, to me, there is no past or future in art. If a work of art cannot live always in the present, it must not be considered at all. As much as we respect the joy of discovery and adopt the attitude of considering art as a means of expression, like what Picasso says, we would attempt to a new approach to art and feel something different. The pure joy of art. Before we move on, let's have a refreshing time. So, those who claim that art should contain political subjects say that society and art is an inseparable thing, and communication through art reflecting the society and social issues will lead to reconciliation between different generations. And those who insist that art should be non-political mentions that they should focus on the healing capacity of pure art itself, and non-political art lets the artist focus on the artistic freedom and identity. And lastly, focusing on the art philosophy of the artist let us experience the new approach to art. Both political and non-political arts are necessary in our lives, so let's check it out. What kind of compromise is already existing, and where's the middle ground that both sides can agree? This is the painting called The Girl with Balloon by Banksy, the anonymous artist. Right after it was auctioned, the painting was shredded by the shredder and the painting frame installed by the artist Banksy. And surprisingly, the price of the artwork soared. Besides the topic whether art should contain political issues or not, we should highlight the term trend. Even the audience who are indifferent or do not prefer art covering social issues know who Banksy is. The point is that Banksy is popular, and the artist has enough charm to capture the attention of the public through performance and entertainment. And this kind of attempt to create the middle ground, the dimension where the public finds entertainment regardless of the political degree of the artwork, has been suggested for the compromise. And finally, my original suggestion as a compromise is to introduce the system of rating the political degree using the quantified data as reference into Rotten Tomato website. The logic used in PG-13 system will work. And if we use the political degree rating system, we will be able to respect both sides, freedom of expression and freedom of decision. If we know the political degree beforehand, unnecessary arguments and conflicts will reduce. So basically, it's making people rate the political degree. Eventually, what matters is that we're thinking and we're talking about the topic. You know, teamworks make the dream works. Thank you for watching.